You know, guys, when we talk about student accommodation and NSFAS first private and student accommodation as a strategy, should you still be investing in student accommodation and what are the risks? But what are the opportunities in South Africa right now? Well, how many, what do you think that shortage is? And you'll know if you watch all my videos that always talk about supply versus demand, So how many properties or how many students are currently seeking that don't have accommodation? I was researching it. It's over 500,000 students are still seeking quality accommodation, decent accommodation. And that's why we have such a, unfortunately, overcrowding properties and this is also where you get the rogue landlords, where they go out, they buy property, they don't go through NSFAS, they do a private, but they overcrowd their rooms and their properties, which is sad for students, right? And you see students lying in hallways and sharing beds and stuff. And I think it's ridiculous. So here's the thing. There is a massive demand for quality student accommodation. I believe that if you follow the strategy and you get it right, that you will make a lot of money because the pros with it is your yields are very high. And make sure that you go find a town, a city, an area where the demand is higher because of course there'll be certain areas, of course there's demand across South Africa, but like anything, there's certain areas where your demand will be higher than others. Go find them, do your research, go to your local college, ask them who's responsible for NSFAS, who's responsible for housing of the students. Go build a relationship, go meet them, go speak to them, find out about what is the shortage in that area, then start asking them for all the requirements. So if I had to buy a property here, Mr. NSFAS, what would the property have to look like? What are your rules and regulations? Do I need to have a desk, a lampshade, a cupboard? How big must the room be? I've potentially find a property that's got 8 bedrooms but one bathroom. Is that a problem? Of course it is. But ask those type of questions. Ask them, and then download their regulations and their T's and C's from their website. So ask them for a copy. Upskill yourself. This is something, by the way, we cover in the student accommodation course that I've done with George King and Marisha and everyone else in that course, because you need to know what you're doing. It's those landlords that go buy property, they stick the tenants in, they don't run it properly, they don't manage their utilities, and guess what? Yes, they lose money. But you get it right. You buy in the right area, you've done your local research with regards to demand. You've made a decision. Are you going through NSFAS or are you going private? Look, there's pros and cons with both. Just remember one thing as I'm saying this, that in most cases, your income will only be 10 months of the year, not 12. Remember that. So when you run your numbers, your expenses are going to be 12 months of the year, like your bond, your rates and taxes, your caretaker, but your income's 10 months. So take your 10 months and spread it over 12 months to run the numbers to ensure that you still get a good return on investment on the student accommodation. So do I recommend it as a strategy? Absolutely. In fact, at SAPN, we have a lot of investors who have done their due diligence, who have done the student accommodation course, that are busy making good money in that sector. And I've met quite a few people that came into the network that were already in student accommodation and they were losing money. Let me tell you why they were losing money. They were losing money because they paid too much for the property. Number one, bond payments too high. They paid too much. They didn't have the expertise to know that when they bought the property, that the property needed a lot of work. I guess the agent walked them around and said, oh no, don't worry. Um, this doesn't need to be done. They're just students. The students don't care about that, and the students won't mind if you don't put no rubbish. You want to provide quality accommodation. And it doesn't matter. I think in terms of students, if you imagine your kids going to a student accommodation, right? You want to send them to a place or an area where they're safe, there's security, where there's a caretaker in place, there's the mom or dad of the house. So they're taken care of from that point of view. And that they've got their own privacy, that there's a shared area where they can sit and they can chill. There's a shared kitchen, there's a shared area, right? And you want to make sure that you're also legal, that if you've now got students in there, you got 10, 15 students, have you got consent from the local municipality? Have you had to rezone that property? Make sure that you're legal at the same time. So that's the thing, guys, and you'll see it coming through all my videos. Always tick those boxes. Do the numbers make sense? Does the area make sense? Are you legal? Do you have the right consent and zoning in place? Have you maximized? Are you sweating the equity, the asset? Right? Is the property going to give you a good cash flow? And are you providing quality accommodation? Hey guys, you tick all those boxes and guess what? You will make a lot of money from student accommodation. It's a no-brainer. So do I recommend that you look at it? Yes, absolutely. But don't just go buy it. Don't buy it without asking the right questions. Don't buy it if you haven't run the numbers. And if you need any assistance or help, guys, you know what to do. There's a comment section below. Make sure you ask us any questions. If you need more education on student accommodation, reach out to us and we'll guide you in the right direction. Okay, so guys, like, subscribe, let your friends know about this channel, and I'll be seeing you guys soon.